What are you guys watching on TV? Like last night, I'm popping around. Like the Syracuse-Louisville game went off, and then I'm like, what do I got now?
Nothing was on.
So you were thinking like me. I mean, I was like,
upset. I caught up on my DVR last night, so that means that nothing really was on.
And Louisville lost.
I watched the end of the Louisville
you almost
game.
got that one, though. That was a good call.
Any jump shots.
Yeah.
That was a questionable, I don't know. I mean, that drive where he tried to pass it behind his back or whatever he was doing on that play. By the way, you'll love this. I watched it at the Y, with a bunch of dudes with T-shirts on, no pants. I was like in the locker room changing, and there's like 45 seconds left, so I'm like, I gotta watch this. Guys walking around. Jim, you noticed this before?
But they had their boxers on.
No. T-shirts, no pants.
No, well, but no pants doesn't mean they don't have any underpants.
We get tweets almost every day from people that come back from the Y or wherever they are where guys are walking around with shirts and no pants on.
He was standing there with them. That means he was just right along with them.
No, I had my pants on. I didn't want to leave because there's like 30 seconds left. I wanted to see how the game was going to end. And also, I like the guys with no pants on. I didn't want to leave those guys either.
Well, those guys need love it too, right?
Yeah. Jim, don't you agree with me that if you're a naked man, you got to go pants first, boxers, underwear, whatever you got, before you put the shirt on?
You learned that at an early age, right? I mean, you put your drawers on first.
I thought about it because we're trying to teach my 4-year-old how to get dressed now, and he can handle the pants. But you try to get a 4-year-old to put a shirt on, and it's like he turns into a monster. He gets it halfway on, he runs into the wall. You know, he can't
reverses as you get older.
Put the shirt on, yeah. Putting the shirt on is tough.
I'm with you. You got to go pants first. I mean, God forbid it's some kind of house fire, some kind of explosion.
Yeah. How ridiculous would you look if your house was burning down and you ran outside in socks, a shirt, and no pants? If you're not in the middle of just having unexpected sex, you have a lot of explaining to do.
I think they were trying to naturally air dry.
Yeah. Use the towel.
Those guys, they had not lost their pants and put some kind of a bet on that game, I guess.
Now, I don't know what was going on, Jim. You never know. The downtown Y is a dangerous place.
I ended up outside the other day in nothing but my boxers, trying to see if it was snowing. Before I realized I'm outside and all I've got is my boxers on. My neighbors hate me.
Please tell me you was going to get your papers.
I go out all the time.
I'm trying to see if it was snowing.
I go out all the time in the boxers and the shirt to get my paper in the morning.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, but I mean, it's
You're
boxers.
not worried about like an inadvertent air-conditioned window?
No, I mean, first of all, if anybody's paying that much attention, it's the same thing with like, are you one of these people who, when they walk in front of a window, like if I'm going to the shower and the window's open, I don't shut the blinds beforehand. I'm like, look, if somebody wants to work this hard to see me naked, they can see me. It's not that exciting. Whereas women
my wife is man, you left the blinds open.
Like, what are you talking about? I don't care. They can look at me if they want. It's not that exciting of a show.
Kind of like
but women are the exact opposite. You don't leave a window or like a blind open in the vicinity of a woman, or they will shoot you. I mean, really. I mean, it's deadly.
That comes up every day in my house. I have to admit, there's no question about that. I mean, and you got houses that are
close to each other.
From you. There's no way anybody could see, even if they were looking in binoculars. But they're still.
Yeah, I make that argument. With the way our house is tilted, I don't think anybody could see in anyway. And if they could, I guess it's true. They don't care at all about me, but I just think it's, I mean, I just, yeah. Apologies to my neighbors if they've happened to see me naked on occasion. And if you have, you're working way too hard.
And if you have, please get it on Twitter.
And send it to Britt Doherty.
Yeah. 3HL1045. Oh, man.
Anyway, I never know where you're going to go.
No, it's a similar problem in the locker room because every time I walk in there, I try to give them like 5-10 minutes so everybody can get their pants on, but inevitably,
that's where
guys are really slow with that.
I was wondering about the ethics involved in standing around in that locker room watching the end of a game with no pants on, and evidently that's okay. I would think put the pants on even if you're in the locker room before you watch the game, but some people were making the decision, you know what? This game's so exciting I don't need pants, and I don't know what to say to them. Jim, do you ever think...
Jim has nothing to say.
Yeah. Do you ever think...
Speaking of none of that, are you going to...
No, I was going to say, we talked about this before with the cooling off period and stuff. Do you ever feel awkward having to interview somebody who's not clothed?
Not anymore. I think used to. A lot of times, I know women that have been in the locker room. It's got to be. I would think it would be
really uncomfortable.
Yeah, like Dawn Davenport. I wonder what she thinks about it.
Yeah,
call in, Dawn.
Way to call out one of the female reporters.
But I do think guys have been more respectful. Some more respectful than others about wanting to make sure they're closed. And but in a locker room on a regular basis after practice, you usually, Steve McNair had a rule that he wouldn't do any interviews unless he had gotten out of the shower, had gotten completely dry. You would never catch him watching.
And turned around. Everyone waited until he turned around.
Yeah, and do his, he'd always do his, he'd have to turn around, he'd do his, deodorant, and he had to spray. You know, a lot of times if you were within range, you get hit by a spray, but he would not do anything unless he was completely dressed, turned around, and was ready to go. Other guys don't have a problem standing there without any clothes on. And if you're on deadline, you don't worry about it. You just try to get your job done. But I would think it would be more uncomfortable for the player than it is for the people interviewing them. And some guys, don't have a problem with it whatsoever.
Happy Valentine's Day to the 3HL crew with this discussion.
Yes.
Man.
I'm willing to bet that there's probably a window in the WNBA where you're not going in the locker room for, 25 minutes or whatever it is.
Do you want to go in?
Well, no, I'm just saying.
I don't know.
Why the double standard?
I mean, we know the double standard because men can't control themselves. We're pigs. That's the reason there's a double standard.
.3HL 1045 The Zone. Hit us up on Twitter at 3HL 1045. On Facebook, 3HL. We all have Twitter pages, Facebook pages.
What was the WNBA rule book?
Oh, you want that one?
Yeah, what was it?
That's dangerous.
The media can't go in the locker room until...
I'm getting there. Getting there.
Until Jim Wyatt says okay.
This from Ryan. Article 4, Section 5 of the WNBA rulebook. Media shall not enter locker room until trainers have had time to hose out stalls and refill troughs.
When you guys get in, Jim?
Well, it's supposed to be a 10-minute cooling off period. It ends up being a lot, it ends up being a little bit longer than that after losses, and a lot of times guys will try to scatter. But, that's the rule. It's supposed to be a 10-minute after, locker room.
It's no 10-minute rule after practice.
Yeah, after games, that's what it is. After practice, it's pretty much Munchak will, when they come off the field, locker room is pretty much open. Munchak will talk, and then you go in there after Munchak. But after games, there's a cooling off period. After practice, it's pretty much, you can follow a guy in there if you want to.
We still haven't heard from Don Davenport.
Hey, and it sounds good there, Jim. We could follow a guy in there if we wanted to.
Yeah.
Into where? The locker room.
Yeah,
okay.
Jay and Herman is next up on 3HL. Hey, Jay.
Man, one of the reasons I listen to this show is because you know what's going on in the world of sports. You got the Jeremy Lin stuff and yada, yada, yada. But you just absolutely never know exactly what direction you guys are going to go in, man. You all just keep doing exactly what you're doing, especially Clay, man. It just never surprises me what comes out of you guys' mouth. This whole locker room conversation and YMCA deal has just got me just busting up in my car, man.
What would you do, Jay, if you want to watch the end of the game, but there's a naked guy standing next to you? Shouldn't you put pants on? There's timeouts there.
Man, I think I'd have to catch the highlights on SportsCenter, man.
I'm with you there, man.
The whole atmosphere in the YMCA, man, I mean, it's really disturbing.
Some guys sit down on the leather couch without pants on.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not your house. If I sat down naked on my own couch, my wife would kill me.
Right,
with no
this
pants
is a
on.
locker room, so there's moisture anyway.
Yeah, there's public locker room. You just go sit down on the leather couch with no pants on.
But what kills me is they want to have a conversation with you. I'm like, bro, we have absolutely nothing to talk about until you put some underwear on. Man. We can't have this conversation, but it's hilarious, man. I love you guys' show.